Hey everyone, welcome back to Real and Raw. It's been a hot minute since I've been on. I think I've said this before. So it's nothing new with me. I kind of come and go like the wind, and I know I should be more consistent. And that's the goal, to be more consistent, because that's the way I'm going to help my channel grow, correct? Or maybe not. I don't know. But, anyways, today's topic is going to be about people looking inflamed. Okay. These are just my personal thoughts. Feel free to chime in with your own thoughts and comments or opinions or whatever you want to call them, and we can have a nice little discussion about this. But my concern with people that look really inflamed. Okay. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that lifestyle choices have a lot to do with that, unless there's some legitimate medical condition that is sprung upon you without you necessarily contributing to it through lifestyle choices, such as how you eat, okay, what you're putting in your mouth. I see people from back in the day that I used to know that were all that, and I understand, some people might say, "Oh, well, when you're young, you're slim and trim and you haven't had kids yet," or yada yada yada. I'm not saying that you're going to look 100% the way you did back in the day after having, I don't know, however many kids you have, because I know that that can wreak havoc, so to speak, or just cause changes, right, in the body. But let's say you were slim and trim, and then you had maybe three kids, and then you just stay looking inflamed or like an Oompa Loompa or real big. Like, girl, you done had those kids 10, 20 years ago. You can't continue to blame that. Excuse me, dare I say, what the fuck are you putting in your mouth? If you don't have an actual medical diagnosis, or maybe there is something there and you haven't been diagnosed yet, if that's not happening, okay, that's what I'm trying to say. If that's not happening, I'm sorry, but you should be evaluating what you're eating. Okay, in the United States, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, our shit is like not good. I mean, compared to maybe food in Europe, like, don't they have things banned in Europe that are not banned in the US? Like, isn't there like bread, like, let's say in France or Italy or what have you? Isn't it more wholesome, quote unquote, than riddled with shit in the US, whatever those may be? I don't know the exact chemicals, but dare I say that? And all the fast food choices, oh, well, raw and real host, like, well, I'm like super poor and that's like all I can fucking afford. Like, oh, that's another hurdle. I hope that somehow, some way you can get out of financial strain. I know how that feels like, very much so. And you have to do what you have to do or eat what you have to eat to survive. I understand that. But when you are extremely overweight, and I know that like stress can spike cortisol levels and can contribute to like the retention of the weight, right? Because the weight can't come from nowhere. The weight has to come from somewhere. And usually it's from a surplus of calories. It's calories in, calories out. You're not expending enough calories versus what you're taking in. So you're therefore in a surplus, and it's going to convert itself into weight gain, however that looks, whether it's water weight, fat tissue, or what have you. Unless you're working out and you're bulking, that's different. That's a whole nother thing. But if you're out here looking like squishy McSquishers, you know what I mean? And it's hard for you to breathe, you get tired easily. It's hard for you to bend all the way down to your toes because your panza's all the way out. Like, you really got to pay attention to what you're eating. I think that's the number one culprit. And I'm probably going to get people riled up. That's to be expected. I'm not even offended. Okay. If you're so concerned, or like not concerned, why you should be, but if you're so fucking offended by what I'm saying, I don't know what to tell you. First of all, why are you offended? Okay. Am I ignorant? Is everything I'm saying in this video 1000% wrong? I don't think so. You are a grown person, assumingly. You can perform your own research, grab them from credible sources or credible people, whoever or whatever that is. In the age that we live in today, you have access to infinite amounts of knowledge. Okay. You can ask or consult with a physician or a specialist or a some kind of professional that has studied these things. I'm not claiming to be one. Again, these are just my thoughts because it's my channel and I have a right to share my thoughts, just like I have the right to share my thoughts in a goddamn journal or to someone. And I'm willing to be corrected, but I'm not willing to accept delusion from people. I am not willing to accept fucking cope from people. No, you want to delude yourself. That's not a good idea. Okay. That's not a way to live. I don't encourage that at all. I know people currently that live in a constant state of delusion to cope with what happened to them. Okay. You have to come to terms with reality. It is in your best interest to come to terms with reality. It is not in your best interest to live in a state of delusion, to be in denial, and worse, fight with someone about the quote unquote truth of the matter. No, no, and again, no. Okay. I do highly encourage you, if you find yourself to be neglectful of yourself or worse, abusing yourself, because abuse looks like different things, like, you know, overfeeding yourself a bunch of bullshit. That's a form of abuse, self abuse. Okay. Or quite the opposite. If you're starving yourself too, to the point where you literally have, uh, Anna, if you know what I mean, because I'm not going to be saying everything out loud because I don't want this to be censored. If you're to the point where you have a disorder or disordered eating, that's not good either. So, any end of the extreme is not good. Okay. You should not be skin and bones to the point where your organs aren't functioning correctly, and you shouldn't be literally a land whale, as they affectionately call people, and I mean that sarcastically. Come on now. It shouldn't be to that point either where you are out of breath every time you're fucking walking. Or again, you're there's just too much going on within you, and I mean that physically. To me, that's not okay. I'm not saying you're not allowed to be who you want to be. I don't encourage unhealthy behavior, though. That's the thing. And I don't think it necessarily feels good to be obese, or and morbidly obese at that, or inflamed. Last time I checked, that doesn't feel good to feel like that. Okay? So, what are your thoughts on people looking are out here looking inflamed? You know, they look like they're real puffy. I used to look puffy. I don't look puffy anymore. I've eliminated that because my diet is carb, low carb, and without, avoiding other nutrients, right? Or nutrients in general, vitamins and minerals, because the key is to have a balanced approach, okay? A balanced diet. No one should be extreme with anything, but as I like to put it, extreme actions result in extreme results. It's as simple as 2 plus 2 equals 4. If you do something extreme, it's likely going to result in an extreme action. If you're real extreme about your eating habits, let's say, I'm going to go on a 72-hour fast, that to me is fucking extreme. Or 36 to 72-hour fast, that would be in the realm of extremism, in my opinion, because not a lot of people are out here doing it. What are you going to look like thereafter? You've seen, or maybe if you haven't seen before and after, look those up. Before and after 72 or 36-hour fasts, and see how those people look. They generally look leaner, less puffy. I mean, the results speak for themselves. It's because they're losing the water weight. They got to be careful with the electrolytes, though. You don't want an imbalance, so you got to like combat that. um, Arguably, yes, you're losing fat tissue. What is it, adipose tissue? You're losing that. Um, just after that extreme of a fast, your body has nothing else to survive on. You're just giving it water or unsweetened tea or black coffee. Your body has to consume something. And so it's, again, you're losing the waterway first, and then you're consuming the fat tissue. It needs to survive. So of course you're going to look leaner. Maybe not super drastically lean like after a year, but you are going to be noticeably different in appearance. So anyway, inflammation is not the business. It's linked to other things that can go wrong. Okay, like diseases and stuff like that. Like, do your research, look it up. I'm not speaking nonsense. I may not know the specifics, but I think in terms of general perspective, yeah, inflammation is linked to a lot of shit. It ain't the business to be out here looking all inflamed. Okay. It's not attractive. Okay. If you just want to keep it extra real, it's not attractive. In my opinion, what I find attractive, the lean, clean, healthy look. That shit to me is utterly attractive. I mean, and I know a significant amount of people besides myself. I say again, a significant number of people out there feel the same way that I do. I can say that with 100% confidence. I am not the only one that finds that attractive. I myself am lean. I'm not super lean because I'm not engaging in regular exercise, but my diet is more on the extreme end. It is. But what happened? I got my quote unquote almost extreme results. I continue to live that lifestyle. I live that appearance. I'm doing the damn thing. And to have people tell me, "Oh, you look awesome, you look phenomenal, you look super fit, you are my body goals." Like, I'm not even trying to like be somebody's body goals, but goddamn, is that a flattering comment to get? When people say you look younger, or they're like, "Shut up, bitch, like you are not this age," and they say they thought you were 10 years younger, I think you're doing something right. And partially too because of genetics. Genetics did work in my favor. But combine that with a healthy lifestyle, more or less. You're making healthier lifestyle choices. I'm not the healthiest person in the world. I subscribe to an 80-20 rule, and I guess I could argue that that's healthy. 80% of the time, I'm disciplined, and 20% of the time, I'm living my best life, if that makes sense. 80% of the time, I am low carb. I am doing the damn thing. I am walking the walk, as they say. But 20% of the time, I'm out here eating fried chicken, pizza. Those are my two favorite ones that I can mention to date. Ice cream. Those are my three major indulgences 20% of the time. I'd like to get it down to 10%, but the 80-20 rule for me has been the most realistic and sustainable approach to staying lean. Okay, again, I am not a medical professional. I am not a dietitian, nutritionist, what have you. But I can say this has been my experience. And again, inflammation. I hope that you all that are experiencing that can take a multifaceted approach to deal with it. Talk to your doctor, talk to a medical professional, whatever, whoever that may be. Get on an exercise regimen that you enjoy and are likely going to stick with. And I would subscribe to a non inflammatory diet. You can do your research. And again, you're going to want to consult with the doctor before you engage in any kind of diet, especially if you have pre existing medical conditions. You do need to consult with them to make sure you're not like straining anything else within yourself. I'll always advocate for consulting with the physician, but because I have been consulting with my physician, and for her to tell me You look good. Whatever you're doing, keep it up. That was reassurance for me that what I'm doing, and as long as I don't feel like shit and I'm quote unquote living and looking my best, I have her blessing basically. Okay. My physician's blessing. She's like, whatever you're doing, girl, you keep on doing it. So I'm practicing what I preach. Again, I would encourage all of us in the oh shit, in the raw and real community for us to live our best lives. A no nonsense, no bullshit approach to living our best life. Okay. Do not bullshit yourself and don't try to bullshit other people. We know what we fucking see. Okay. And you know what you see and you know how you fucking feel. Okay. Go out there, do the damn thing. You deserve to live your best life. I'm going to end it here. I really appreciate you guys listening in. Stay tuned for the next video whenever that comes up. Okay. Take care, guys.